again, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of 15 Good Minutes. Freddie, how you doing, man?
I'm well. You went out for a split second.
I
So
did.
He
The
did.
microphone switched, and I got a little message on the screen. Apologies, man. Glad to have you here, Freddie. Charles, what's up, my guy? You look tired.
Wonderful, excellent, man. Yeah, I'm a little bit tired, man. It's y'all interfered in my bedtime. I'll be laying down by right now. Like 30 minutes going to sleep.
Yeah, we were just talking off air. I think this is the week that LB is on his Pinehurst golf trip with his golf DMV guys. I hope those guys hit him straight. Um, that's one expensive trip, man. I sure hope they getting some good golf in, man. Them numbers were.
You know what? I wouldn't mind going to Pinehurst if somebody sponsor me.
Well, here's the thing, Charles. Oddly enough, me and Scotty were thinking about driving there when we went to the offsite a couple of weeks ago because apparently we were just like an hour or so away. We couldn't find the time, and I drove because we were just gonna go through, buy a couple bag tags, put on our golf bags, and have something to brag about on the golf course. But I'm not playing it for those. I mean, let's be honest.
What is it around? What is it around?
Well, it depends on your package. I can tell you that the package that these guys got comes in right around $3,700. So they're playing. They're playing today's Tuesday, so they play today. They play tomorrow. They check out on Thursday, go play, and then go home. So and we'll get LB to confirm this when he comes back. But I think it's 3 rounds in 3 days, but it's only 2 nights, and it's upwards of $4,000. I think you get a meal or two in there, but you know what I'm going to compare it to, and nothing.
Oh well, it's no comparison.
Nothing's going to hold to.
It is no, and I'm sure Pinehurst is a really beautiful course and stuff, right? But you know what? Legends is you can't beat it you can't beat
I
it.
tell you what, though, this is not the first time that they've played number two. And the last time they did it a couple of years ago, LB said it was underwhelming.
Really?
He did. He did. We'll have to get his opinion. Now, maybe the changes this year, but he was very matter of fact. Like his point back then, Charles, was when you pay that kind of money,
Oh man,
it should look like because I
it should
understand
be
like last year
plush.
they went to Wisconsin to Whistling Straits, and it apparently it looks the part as well as plays the part.
Mhm.
But he said Pinehurst number two was like, nothing to write home about. But all the pros want to play it. So yeah, so he's not here, and I was going to ask him a question anyway because today we're talking about college football, and every time we talk about the NFL, he opens it up with, "I didn't watch that game. I don't watch NFL." I do think he watches college football, so he might have had some really good input into this one. And what I want to talk to you guys about today is specifically the rankings just came out again. Two teams are really underperforming, and I want to get your opinion on. I think they're underperforming for two different reasons, but we watch a lot of football collectively, so I'm hoping maybe you can shed a different type of light on it. So we're talking about Penn State taking a loss against a team with no
UCLA.
wins, UCLA, and we're talking about Texas. I'm going to start with Penn State. I will give them the fact that they're coming off a close loss in the whiteout the week prior versus what I think is a good Oregon team. But of these two teams that have since fell out the top 25, Charles, I just feel that the Penn State one is, I'll say, inexcusable. So UCLA fired their coach, fired their coordinator, just a no fool and dumpster fire, but they're trying to get their act together. Quite honestly, I believe that Penn State went in thinking we just came off a close thing with Oregon. We're going to truck these guys. What is your opinion of where Penn State is? And let me just qualify this with you first, Charles. I never put a lot of stock in the preseason rankings, whether
Right,
it's
right,
college
right,
football or
right,
basketball.
right.
But both of these were, I want to say, preseason top five.
Texas was a top. I think Texas. Their first game was. I think they were two.
They were right up there when they played Ohio State. I don't
Yeah,
remember what they were.
I think they were two. I think it was one and two playing each other.
Yes, at some point, I think you're right.
It was one and two
So,
playing each other, and so yeah, and Penn State was, if I recall correctly, I think they were in the top five, right? And to your point, um, preseason, you going off your reputation of last year. right? That's literally what you're going off on in college football because literally if you're not bringing back I mean, look at Georgia. Georgia did not bring back their quarterback from last year. What's his name? But he's
He's
down.
in Miami now, right?
He's in Miami. He's killing it in Miami top five. Miami top five. So uh, this past weekend, I did not get to watch football, college football, but believe me, heard enough about the games, and the big, huge upset that UCLA did. UCLA just played. They came out and played inspired football. That was just all to it. And your point was correct, Rusty. Penn State came in there with the expectation of winning, right? But did not come in there prepared to play.
It's funny, Charles. Like I watched a lot of coverage on this because this is a very hot topic this week.
Right.
And everyone who watched it, no one was worried, when UCLA got the first couple scores. You just knew at some point, yeah, it's going to happen. But then it didn't happen, let me be clear here. To your point, yeah, hats off to UCLA, man. Right? I mean, not just inspired football, but they didn't roll over for anyone.
They did not.
And it would have been very understandable had they done that, considering, again, no wins, fired the head coach. The offensive coordinator, I forget his name, but he was a former player. He said for the whole first half, he didn't know how to work the headset. He's talking to the defense, thinking he's sending a message to his quarterback. That's just how much of a in disarray that program is. So I don't know. Do you have an opinion on Franklin and whether his job is or should be in jeopardy before I turn it over to Freddie?
I'm gonna say probably it won't be. It probably won't be in jeopardy, but obviously he's not done a very good job of recruiting.
Winning the big one. He ain't winning the big one.
Well, in winning the big one. One, I can't remember the quarterback there last year, right? Because I don't remember since he's been there that he's had a quarterback of any caliber. So obviously with Penn State, I mean with any team, you really need to start off with having a really good quarterback. You get a good quarterback in college football, right? You can win some games, right? Yeah. And so but Penn State again, right? Overhyped and underperformed.
Yeah, and so for you, Freddie, like I'm going to lead in with you, Freddie, and saying I think that Franklin's in trouble if they don't make the playoffs. I think they still can. Obviously, they got to run the table. Having said that, Freddie, what have you seen with Penn State so far this year? And what did you make of their performance over the weekend?
Can either of you name me 3 players on the Penn State team right
now? No.
To your point, Charles, the quarterback they had last year is the quarterback for this year, right?
See, that's what I said. I didn't even know he was still there.
Drew Altler or whatever. They have Singleton or something. They have 2 very good running backs, Kentron something, and the quarterback. That's it, right? And so what I've seen from Penn State this year, obviously Oregon is a very good team, very good program. They're very deep. They're very physical. Actually, the loss it was kind of shocking to UCLA. I just thought, physically you have more talent and things like that. And for some reason, it just didn't come together on Saturday. For whatever reason. And I'm going to go to Texas. Can either one of you name me one other player on Texas outside of Arch Manning?
Arch Manning.
Exactly. And so and the same thing with that, right? Arch, we know who Arch is because of who his dad, his uncle, his 2 uncles and his dad. You don't know anything about it. Texas lost a lot of talent to the NFL last year. Penn State lost some talent as well, right? And so when we start talking, not we, us specifically, but when the media starts talking about this and that, what they're really saying is, you made a fool out of us for putting you number 1 or number 2 in the preseason. When guess what? I think preseason rankings are absurd because you don't know what you are, and no one has seen what you are. And I don't think you should have rankings until at least week 5 of the regular season.
I was going to say week 3, yeah, when after you start playing the cupcakes. Yep.
Now, as it pertains to Franklin, okay, he hadn't done well this year, last year, whatever. He hasn't gotten it done, right? Who are you going to get that's better?
Oh, I never asked that question. I'm of the mindset if you're the coach and you had as much time as he had, I think there's certain programs, there's a level of expectation. Where Texas is concerned for me, like I said to Charles, I'm not a fan of the preseason rankings either. But I just think if you're going to be the highest, isn't he the highest paid? Didn't you say last week or so? He's like the highest paid nil person. I'm talking about Arch now. In college football, I think he's average. I'm going to say that. I now have a body of work. I'm looking at 5 games. He's their leading rusher, which is a problem for Texas to me. So that is a problem that Sark has to fix. If he got 37 yards over the weekend, and that was the most, and in the 5 games, he has a total of 160 yards, which is more than any running back, there's your problem. Because as a defensive coordinator, Freddie, I don't have to game plan for anybody except him. These other cats can't run. I'm going to send 2 to him, and he's going to be flustered. I'm a little concerned though that not just the media, like Freddie said, but that general population is like, oh, give him a chance. He'll do this, he'll do that. I'm not sure that he will. And I know he felt pretty strongly about it when he finally became QB1. I think Texas as a team isn't as good as their preseason rankings. I thought Penn State as a team was much closer to theirs. And for me, I don't care if you're top, I don't know, man, I'll say 10 to 15 maybe. You can't lose to a team like UCLA, in my opinion, at that caliber of school, and still keep your job. But I will say this, and see if you guys agree. Do you see either one of them as a NCAA football playoff team?
No,
Neither
no.
one, really.
Texas.
If Penn State runs the table, they don't have 2 losses, and it's not uncommon to get a lost
It's
team.
too many good teams. Just like in the SEC, it's just too many good teams in the Big Ten. I just don't see them not losing another game. Okay, so you got Texas, and we'll go with Texas. Texas plays what, number 6 Oklahoma next week, right? And Venable, I guess I'm hoping I'm not hacking his name up. The Oklahoma coach, he is, he's giving Archie props and stuff, but he's not saying that in the locker room. He's saying in the locker room,
what he's supposed to do
he's saying in the media, he's saying, oh, Archie this, Archie that, right? But in the locker room, he's saying this guy is a bum, right?
Go get him.
We're gonna make him beat us, right? And we're not gonna let anybody else do it, right? And that's what teams have been doing. The good teams, they like, we're gonna let Arch beat us, right? And so far, he's been horrible. He's been absolutely horrible. And so
I just don't know that he's been given the things around him to help him be successful, Charles. I mean that offense is pretty suspect. Now I will say this: look at last week, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Right.
Year to date, 11 touchdowns, half as many picks. That might be because he's constantly running for protection.
Man, I'm not saying that's not true either.
Right.
But you know what? If you are this, of this Messiah quarterback, you have
self-proclaimed, or nobody else.
You got to raise your team up level. That's your job. You raise the team up, right? And you're probably right, Rusty. He just doesn't have. Definitely, they don't have the weapons they had around last year, right there, right. And so.
But to answer the original question, no, I don't think either team makes the college football playoffs.
Last thing I got, there was going to be a Hulu special that's as of today was canceled. That was going to chronicle UNC football and Bill Belichick. I think that's the dumpster fire of all dumpster fires. I think they're horrible. I don't know what the school thought was going to happen. I honestly didn't think that Belichick, his mind was in the right place for college football. Number one, it's not the pros. Number two, he was pretty good as a side analyst, I thought, whenever the Manning brothers brought him on Monday Night Football. If this is going to be, and it probably won't, but if this is going to be what he's last remembered for, what does it say about him? I mean, they're horrible. So bad, so much so that the school said, you know what, we don't need Hulu to come in here filming nobody. We'll cancel this whole thing. Freddie, the only one I watched was that first one where they gave them the primetime TV slot, and I mean they got housed. What do you and help me out now, guys? It's a 5-year contract, right? That they paid him when they let Mac go. Bought Mac Brown's contract out, and they gave Belichick all this money. Um, I think it just goes to show for me. I don't care who you are. If you don't have talent, ain't that much coaching in the world. He can't make them boys no better than they are. Actually, I think they're worse than they were last year.
I think to be honest with you, honestly, I don't think he took it serious. I think it was just a grift. I think he thought him being able to implement his scheme, his system, it'll be competitive enough to where an NFL team will say, "Hey, Bill, come on back," and whatnot. But it's a grift for him to bleed UNC, his girlfriend doing all this outlandish stuff, trying to, it's a grift, right? And somebody told me, I haven't looked this up, and I was like, what? But somebody told me that there's a stipulation in his contract with UNC that his son would be the next head coach. I don't know if that's
I've heard
true.
that. I've heard
I,
that too.
I haven't seen it, but I'm like, if that's the case, this is a grift, and just it,
Expecting him expecting him to come in and do that to me would be like saying you're gonna get the Showtime era Phil Jackson to come to Georgetown, and next thing you know, Georgetown is gonna win that national championship because they now running the triangle offense. It's still Georgetown, and in this case, it's still Carolina, and that football team is in a bad way. So yeah, I didn't know if you guys had saw that news this morning that the Hulu special that we were so anticipating is going to be canceled.
I
Uh,
wasn't anticipating it.
no, I know that. I say that in jest. Last thing I'll say before I see if you guys got something to say. Last week, I asked the question: Is Baltimore in trouble? Nah, nah, nah. I don't trust Pittsburgh. Well, they got another 40 piece hung on them this past weekend. I really think they are in trouble, but we'll see. I'm of the mindset now, Freddie. It don't matter what Pittsburgh do. Baltimore's not gonna make. They're not gonna be a playoff contender at this rate, man. 40 was it 40, 42? I don't know. I
I mean, you got to remember how many they had, like 4 or 5 starters on defense out.
They had 6 out the week prior. Yes, I grant you that. But
It don't help, you know.
no, no, agreed. So yeah, there's your NCAA football fix for this week. Before we check out, let me see if the fellas got something to say. How about you, Freddie? You got something to say today, man?
The NFL and Rock Nation, what were you thinking with this whole Bad Bunny, Super Bowl halftime performance and his views and based on the current climate in America, right? Now you have the president weighing in. And so now I'm just sitting back trying to find some popcorn and I'm waiting to see when the NFL and Rock Nation say, hey, we're going to go in a different direction, because, I'm not even going to get political. I honestly don't know a Bad Bunny song. I've heard of him and I don't know. Like, and this, I'm
That
not
just
picking on
mean that just mean you growing up, bro.
and, and,
Right? 'Cause
and
you
I'm
gonna
not
reach a point in your life you don't know
and
who none of them are.
I'm not picking on him. I don't even know a Taylor Swift song. You know, I may have heard it and said, "Oh, that's a nice song, sketchy." I don't know who these people are, but NFL, you could have did better.
Fair
That's my
enough. Fair enough. How about you, Charles? You got something to say today, buddy?
In Virginia, we're out in the middle of a governor's race, right? And I'm just saying, get out and vote. If you're a Virginian, get out and vote. We could, hopefully be able to turn the tide here in Virginia, right? I'm not for sure that's going to happen, all right? But with our present administration, right? Our present administration does seem like it's been in there for like 5 years already, even though it's been less than 8 years. It feels like 5. It feels like 5.
5 or longer,
So,
bro.
so go and vote. Just go. If you're in Virginia, go vote.
I agree with that, man. Keep hope alive. And early voting, to Charles's point, is also available if you live here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So take advantage of that if you can. That's all we got time for today. Like we say, we hope that the LB and the fellas are out there playing some good golf down there in North Carolina. He'll be back with us next week. We'll all be back next week. Again, if you're not watching these baseball playoffs, there's some amazing, amazing baseball going on. Not necessarily for the teams that I support, but we're still going with that. So get out there and watch some baseball, and we'll catch you guys next week. Until then, we're out.